Hello, welcome once again to our inspirational 5-minute video from Solid Rock Church. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about gardening today. You see, my wife Bibi, she is a fantastic gardener, and when I look around our garden front and back, I see she has cultivated some beautiful flowers, each of which comes in bloom as the seasons progress. Wonderful bushes and shrubs, the name of most of which I don't have a clue. You see, I grew up on a farm, and if it's anything to do with livestock or to do with cultivated crops on a farm, I'm pretty familiar with them. But Bibi will tell you that she dreads seeing me going near a flower bed because I can't identify what is good or what is a flower and what is a weed. Now, for any gardener, they will tell you that weeds are one of the banes of their lives. You see, weeds are plants which grow up uninvited among the cultivated plants, and they tend to take over. And the difficulty is they tend to choke and to take the nutrients from the plants that you actually want to cultivate. So recently she asked me to help her to dig out one of our seed beds. There apparently was scotch grass in it, so I went down and had a look. There were a few tufts of grass growing here and there, and I thought to myself, this is going to be pretty simple. But you see, scotch, or couch grass as other people call it, it's a peculiar plant because what you see on the surface is only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, because underneath they have rhizomes or little root systems which literally travel underground, and they knot themselves around any other plants in the garden to the point where they actually kill off the stuff that you want to grow and they take its place. Now, the difficulty is until you start digging, you don't realize the extent of this root network, and therein lies the problem. I discovered as I dug that these roots, these rhizomes, they literally ran for yards in many cases, and they sprouted up a little plant here and there. But for the most part, they were hidden from the eye until you went digging. Now, I began to think about this, and I realized that very often in our lives, there are unbidded or unwelcome areas. We have things that grow up in our lives that we don't want and we don't recognize. And you know, in the book of Hebrews, in chapter 12, it says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles," just like the roots, "and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." You see, we need to examine our lives because there are things that grow up even when we don't realize it. And in our lives, a little bit like the garden, there are areas that need attention. Now, very often these things are hidden from our sight, and we can't actually see them there until we go digging. And the psalmist David, he said to God, he said, "Create in me a pure heart and renew a steadfast spirit in me." And in another psalm he said, "Search me, O God, examine my life, see if there's anything offensive there and remove it." You see, for most of us, we go along in our busy lives, but we don't take any time to examine or to check out how we're doing or what has taken root. And you know, at this time when we are all forced to take a bit more time out, when we have time to reflect, this is a good time to pray that prayer and say, "Lord, search my heart. See if there's anything offensive there that I need to deal with. Are there a few weeds that have grown up while I've been busy? What are those things that I'm giving attention to which are not bringing glory to you? What are those things that are harming those around me? And perhaps I'm not even aware. Is there an attitude? Is there a habit? Is there a behavior that I need to address? And then you ask God, He will reveal them to you, and He'll help you to live in a situation where His fruit grows in your life. God bless you. Do join us again for another inspirational video from Solid Rock Church. Talk to you soon.